Today I'm going to tell you a story. I have been so scared to tell this story. Well, we started talking and he ends up telling me his whole life story. And he's like, I just moved here from Florida. I'm on parole right now. I'm like, you're on parole? What are you on parole for? And he's like, I'm on parole because I was down at the beach late at night and this guy was about to rape this woman. And I intervened and I basically beat the crap out of the guy. And the girl got away and the girl was safe, but because I had beat him up, I was the one in trouble. I believed him. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so noble. That's so awesome. And he's told me that his stepfather had abused him, that his stepfather had beat him, that his stepfather had done all of these horrible things, and that his mother had done all these horrible things to him. He had a cigarette burn mark, like a scar on his arm. And he's like telling me that this is from his family, okay? Which is why he had moved to Florida. He said he'd moved to Florida to live with his grandmother. So fast forward, we exchange phone numbers, we start talking. By the way, at this point, I'd already met his entire family that loved me, okay? Anyway, so I come home on my lunch break, because I live like maybe 5 minutes away. So I come home on my lunch break, and I'm like, hey, oh, you're still here, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, actually, my mom says she's kicking me out. I don't have anywhere to live. I don't really know what I'm going to do. Because I wasn't going to live with this guy that I'd known like maybe a month at this point. He tells me my mom kicked me out. My stuff's on the porch there. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to stay. Without missing a beat, I was like, you know what? Let's go get your stuff. Let's move you in here temporarily. You can save up. I pay for all of my own bills here anyway. Just do a couple chores and we'll be fine. And then as soon as you save up enough, we'll move you out and move you into your own place. He was like the most grateful human being on the planet, right? So we go get his stuff, whatever. He's great for about a week, right? Fantastic, like star guest. So then he starts telling me he doesn't want to have to walk to work every day. Mind you, he's a short order cook. He works like maybe 20 hours a week, and it's like maybe 2 blocks away. So I would figure out what time he had to be to work. I would get him, and I would take him to work on my lunch break. Mind you, at this point, like I said, he's working like maybe 20 hours a week, if that, and I'm working like 60. This was my lunch break, okay? Started drinking quite a bit. So much that actually at one point when him and his mother started talking again, he actually told her that we needed to borrow money for gas because neither one of us had any money for gas, but he actually just needed money to buy beer. And he had to have beer. And we're talking, he had to drink a 24 pack to get drunk, and he had to get drunk. Like, he had to do that. So he started to nitpick on things about me. He started picking on my appearance. He started telling me about the zits on my face and the blackheads on my face. And he would tell me, he's like, that's so unattractive. That's so terrible. That's so disgusting. I was a very confident woman when I first met him. Extremely confident. I exuded confidence. And I got in this relationship, and afterward, it had cut my confidence down drastically. I would spend hours staring at myself in the mirror, looking at the blackheads on my face, and I could hear the things he would say. There are things he said to me that will always stick in my brain, and that hurts me. Like, I still hear his voice telling me I wasn't good enough. I will always hear his voice. He's telling me how fat I am, how thick my thighs are. But he was doing it in such a subtle way, I didn't catch it at first. He's watching what I'm eating all the time, so I can't eat anything when I'm at home. Like, he'd buy a pizza, right? He'd buy 2 big boxes of Domino's pizza, and I would only be allowed maybe one slice, and he would eat the rest of it. Mind you, he is a big guy. We would go to McDonald's, and we would get like $30-40 worth of food, and maybe I had one little snack wrap in that. I realize now what he was doing. And then he would tell me about his exes all the time, and he would tell me about, oh, I dated this one, and she was a fruitarian, like she only ate fruit. She was so skinny, she was like a size 2. So he tells me all the time how ugly I am. You're too ugly. I've called the cops twice on him. They've told me if there wasn't a mark on my body, there was nothing they could do about it. Cops are no help to me. He's threatened my best friend. I'm like, I can't. I told him we were done. The next morning, we were done. It was over. I wanted his stuff out by the end of the week. We both agreed. It was a mutual agreement. He got to work, and he calls me about 2 minutes before his shift, and he's legit crying on the other end of the phone. Now, at this point, I've never heard this man cry. I've never heard this man get upset, like to the point where he sounds like he's choking up. And he's swearing to me that he can't live without me, that I'm the only thing that has made him whole. I'm the only person that has made him happy, that he just wants to be with me. In my head, I'm thinking what they teach you in high school. When they teach you domestic violence and abusive relationships, and they're like, there's that honeymoon stage, there's that roller coaster, they do something, and then there's the honeymoon where they bring you home flowers and they apologize and they cry and they say whatever you want to hear to come back. Like, I hear this going on in my head as he's talking. But I'm like, you know what? I'm too smart for this. I'm a college-educated woman. I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to get myself into this. So I knew if I had told my family what was going on, they were going to jump to that same conclusion, but they didn't know him the way I knew him, was what I thought. I knew at this point, if I had mentioned it to them, like what was really going on, they'd have been like, oh, get out of there. Get out of there. You shouldn't be with this guy. Because I didn't want anyone to think less of me, that I had let this happen. And at that point, I kept thinking, he's this damaged man because he was abused as a kid. He's had all these terrible girlfriends. He keeps telling me about this. You know, his mom, he said his mom, was never there for him. His dad died when he was younger. Like, keeps telling me all of these things. When he would hurt me mentally, I just kept thinking, he's not doing this on purpose. He's doing this because he doesn't know any better. He's trying to push me away because he doesn't want to get hurt. Okay, so he has this troubled past. He's never had anybody who's been there for him. Like, I'm going to be this person. So I let him come back. It was great for, again, like a week. He did all the dishes. He cleaned everything. At this point, he's even convinced me to show that I loved him to put him on my lease when I renewed my lease. So I put him on my lease the beginning of that week. He's drunk as a skunk. Like, there were beer cans everywhere. And I'm trying to get to sleep. Like, I have to be up the next morning, and I just want to go to bed. So I go to lay down in bed. Well, all of a sudden he comes in and he just falls on top of me. Again, he's a very large man. He's falling on top of me. He's like, oh, you always want to hang out. You don't want to hang out with me now. Oh, you don't love me. And he's just irking on my last nerve. I'm like, I have to be up at 7 in the morning. Like, do you not understand? It is currently 2 in the morning. Can't get him off. Like, I'm trying to push him off of me, and I'm telling him again, I'm like, get off of me. I'm having trouble breathing. He was on top of me, and he wouldn't let me breathe. Sits up, wide-eyed, and he just has this look of rage on his face. Don't you ever hit me again. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, you weren't getting off of me. Threw me against the wall like this. Punches right next to my head. Like, he swung that fist and he hits it and it goes right next to my head. Like, I felt it. And told me the next time I did anything, that was going to be my face. And I will kill everything you love. At this point, I have had enough of his crap. I said, just do it. Just do it. Just kill me. Looking him dead in the eye, and I'm like, just kill me. Just do it. He goes, you'd like that, wouldn't you? In my state of panic, fear, and if he leaves a mark on me, I don't have to deal with him anymore either. No, they don't need to worry about our problems. He's like freaking out. He kicked the wall in the hallway, like by where it was. Everything on the wall fell off and broke. I'm petrified at this point. Like, it's my adrenaline has now started to wear off, and I'm thinking about what has just happened. To my mom's house, I went over to the next door neighbor's house, and I'm telling her like what's been going on. She says, well, that sounds like what it was with my alcoholic ex-husband. Thankfully, she was understanding and wasn't mad. Felt like she was going to yell at me and tell me how stupid I was. It's so scary to know something is wrong, not know who to ask for help. His daughter had been through a similar situation. So he was like, this is who you need to talk to. I'm not letting you leave here until we figure this out. And she said, did you know he has a warrant out for his arrest in Florida? Remember, he told me that story about how he saved some girl at the beach. If you take nothing else away from this video, this could happen to anyone. It could happen to anyone.